Not every human can form the perfect bond with their dog. Just like how some humans aren't good matches when it comes to friendship or romance, or maybe even colleagues. I hate our channel administrator, for example. Just kidding, I promise. And just like that, might your dog and you not be the perfect fit? I'm going to explain why and what to do about it. Before we dive in, I've got something very important to touch upon, and that's the fact that almost any relationship can be made to work with time and effort. Because while it may not be the perfect sync for one reason or another, the love might still be there, bubbling and brewing. I'm sure we've all been in romantic relationships from time to time where, while it may not seem like the perfect fit, they like pop, but you like rock, for example. Beyond this superficial nonsense, like they don't know how to load a dishwasher, but you do. And why is it so hard to learn this? The love is still strong. If the bond between your dog and you doesn't feel like it's quite working, this is not your failing. Nor your dog's, of course. And it doesn't mean that they're the wrong dog for you or that there's no love. In fact, the love may be stronger than the love between a human and dog who seem a more natural fit. But on a surface level, there may well be clashes that need addressing, so let's talk about them. Personality clashes. Just like human relationships, personality compatibility matters when it comes to dogs. Studies have shown that certain personality traits in humans align better with specific dog temperaments. A 2019 study published in Scientific Reports found that dog owners and their pets often share personality traits. To put it more simply, if you are extroverted, often so is your dog. If you are agreeable, your dog may be as well. If you are neurotic or skittish or anxious, you guessed it, there's a strong chance your dog is too. This phenomenon is backed by an incredibly interesting 2020 study in PLOS One, which found that dogs can actually mirror their owner's stress and emotional states. But some people and their doggos slip through the net of this common dynamic and wind up being the rare odd couple in human-dog relations. If you and your dog are struggling to vibe as much as you'd like, it may well mean you are one of the few people who has defied the studies and wound up with a pooch whose personality is the polar opposite of yours, rather than a reflection of it. And this can be frustrating and exhausting for many pet parents, and the dogs as well. If you're introverted, loving a nice and calm environment, but your dog is a highly energetic chaos agent demanding constant attention, tensions can arise. Which quite naturally leads us to our next possible source of the problem. Energy clashes. If you are someone who loves to go for a morning jog every single day and wants to take your dog with you, a lazy pooch who'd rather sprawl on the floor and snore might not be the best fit. And the same is true in reverse. If you'd rather lounge around eating snacks and playing Animal Crossing all day, but your dog wants nothing more than to bound up and down the beach, you've got mismatched energy levels. When it comes to compatibility between you and your dog, recognizing each other's physical activity needs is crucial. A 2018 study in Frontiers in Veterinary Science examined the link between a dog's breed and its exercise needs. And it found that high-energy breeds, such as Australian Shepherds and Belgian Malinois, really excel when matched with owners who love physical activities like sports. And when the same breeds were paired with people who were less into activities like running and sport, the dog's unmet exercise demands led to them becoming restless and in some cases destructive. To put it simply, ensuring your energy levels align with your dog's is essential for a healthy, happy relationship. But if you and your dog are not perfect on this front, all is not lost. Take that as a hint to explore a whole new side to yourself, to push yourself. For example, if you're an energetic person with a lazy dog, take it as a sign that maybe the universe wants you to relax a bit and incorporate some lazy days into your life. Or if you're a couch potato with a high-energy dog, take it as a hint from the universe to get out there and enjoy the outside world a little bit more. I'm not saying you should change for your dog, far from it. But in human-to-human relationships, meeting the other party on their level can be a great way to explore yourself and the world. So why not take the same opportunities when it comes to syncing with your dog? Social needs clashes. Springing out of this, there are so many other things that can be the source of a clash, like a difference in training problems or communication styles. More on those shortly. But one major one is different social needs. Again, the golden rule is to think of your dynamic with another human. Imagine you have a housemate. Let's call him Captain Shenanigans. Let's say you love nothing more than sitting in peace and quiet reading a book with a glass of wine. But Captain Shenanigans likes having loud, uproarious parties until 4 a.m. every night. If you do things his way, it's exhausting for you. If you do things your way, it's boring for him. This also applies to your dynamic with your dog. Well, sort of. Dogs can't read novels or host house parties, but you get the point. Those classic examples with very high social needs would be golden retrievers and Labradors, prone to feeling frustrated or even distressed if they don't get the constant companionship they crave. But as with all these examples, there's the reverse. Shiba Inus tend to be more independent and don't need the same level of consistent affection. If you love socializing and taking your dog everywhere, but your pup prefers solitude, you might be forcing interactions on them they don't want. But if your dog is desperate for attention and you prefer a quiet, solitary lifestyle, their needs might seem a touch overwhelming for you. But like everything in this list, all's not lost. Simply meeting them in the middle, if they're a little different from you, from time to time will do wonders in helping to build that bridge between you. Communication clashes. I've talked a lot about the various forms of personality clash you might have with your dog, but sometimes you might have more in sync with your dog than you might think. But the reason why you think and feel you're incompatible, it's because the communication isn't quite there. You might totally agree with each other, but just not realize that. Communication is key in any relationship, including the one you share with your dog. 2016 research from the University of Sussex, people sure do love doing research on dogs, don't they? Found that while your dogs respond to both verbal cues and the tone of voice with which they're given, they rely much more heavily on body language. If you naturally communicate in a way that doesn't align with your dog's learning style, they might not understand what you're trying to say. While it might seem like they're defying you, they simply don't understand what you're saying. And naturally, this leads to frustration on both sides. If you think you and your pooch are incompatible, it might be worth taking a moment to check and ascertain if actually you're just misunderstanding one another. Training clashes. These are all signs of incompatibility you might not notice until a little bit later. But one of the earliest signs that a dog and you may not be the perfect match from the jump is if you have difficulties in training. A 2019 study in applied animal behavior science found that different dog breeds exhibit varying levels of trainability based on genetic predisposition. I've talked before about how intelligent and trainable border collies are. One very famous border collie was trained to understand 200 words. Poodles are much the same. But Afghan hounds, Basenjis, they require more patience and consistency. So if the reason you feel your pooch and you are not quite a match made in heaven boils down to their behavior during training, or how slow they are to pick things up, by which I mean learn, not literally pick things up, it might just be a case of their breed, and it will be worth persevering for the sake of your future bond. Hope is not lost yet. So what to do if you and your dog are incompatible? If some of these signs we've explored have hit home and reflect your dynamic with your dog, there's no need to panic. Incompatibility doesn't mean you need to give up on your beloved pet. Far from it. If you invest time in training, make minor adjustments to your lifestyle, and meet them in the middle, not only will it improve the bond between them and you, but it will be good for you to shake up aspects of yourself and your life for the benefit of someone else. If anything, the bond between a pet and pet parent that required a little work will ultimately be stronger and more full of love than one that was natural. Want to know some things your dog does for you that you don't notice? Be sure to watch this next video.